On Chapter 13, 92, So It Was the Scheme of Heaven's Will. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Wu Yong took the initiative to retreat. Fong Yuan and Feng Zhuge were not happy. Their hearts sank. Wu Yong could move ahead to attack. He could naturally retreat too. Fong Yuan and Feng Zhuge both hoped that Wu Yong would fight against them to the death. But Wu Yong did not do that. He chose to retreat in a logical and wise manner. He was a rank 8 righteous path Gu immortal against 2 rank 7s. He actually chose to retreat. No. If news got out, Wu Yong would lose a portion of his reputation. The reason why it was only a portion was because his opponents were the famous Feng Zhuge and Liu Guanyi, Fong Yuan. Wu Yong needed a lot of courage to do this. Of course, he needed great wisdom. Immortal Battlefield Killer Move 4 Clear Transforming Winds was broken. Wu Yong suffered a backlash from the killer move and was heavily injured. But he had Clear Jade Dripping Wind Tiny Bamboo Building. He could still fight. But when he found out that Feng Zhuge could move, and he could do nothing to Fong Yuan, he sensibly chose to retreat. This was a great move. In fact, this was even more powerful than his fierce attacks earlier. Fang Yuan's and Feng Zhuge's weaknesses were immediately targeted. Firstly, only a few edges of Clear Jade, Dripping Wind Tiny Bamboo Building had broken. It was still incredibly fast. It was impossible for Fong Yuan and Feng Zhuge to chase after Wu Yong, especially when Fong Yuan's upper extreme Heavenly Eagle was no longer under his control. Secondly, Wu Yong obtained precious time to calmly heal himself. After all, his wounds were not light. His battle strength was severely affected. And finally, Wu Yong could repair Clear Jade Dripping Wind Tiny Bamboo Building and even add in more Gu worms to the immortal Gu house. He would not be so passive when facing Feng Zhuge's immortal killer move again. Wu Yong's sound path attainment level was only ordinary, but his wind path attainment had long reached the level of mimicking other paths. He could totally use wind path methods to weaken the effects of Feng Zhuge's killer move. That was to say, when Wu Yong pursued them again, Fong Yuan and Feng Zhuge would have a face of fully healed rank 8 Gu immortal with a peak condition, immortal Gu house, Clear Jade Dripping Wind, Tiny Bamboo Building that was completely prepared for Feng Zhuge. Wu Yong could retreat as he pleased. He did not need to desperately fight with Fong Yuan or Feng Zhuge. He could wait for a better opportunity later. In contrast, Fong Yuan and Feng Zhuge could do nothing to him. They were in the passive position. Fong Yuan only had reverse flow protection seal, while Feng Zhuge might have an immortal battlefield killer move. But even if he had time to set it up, he could not trap Wu Yong because he had the rank 8 immortal Gu house, Clear Jade Dripping Wind Tiny Bamboo Building. The difference in strength. Even though Fong Yuan and Feng Zhuge worked together, there was still a huge gap in strength between them and Wu Yong. If it were only Wu Yong, they might have some hope of winning. But Wu Yong had the immortal Gu house, Clear Jade Dripping Wind Tiny Bamboo Building. His battle strength had risen immensely. The two of them were helpless. Fong Yuan, leave first. At this moment, Feng Zhuge said to Fong Yuan, "Eh?" He spoke very plainly. Fong Yuan's pupils shrunk a little. Feng Zhuge looked at Fong Yuan deeply. He was expressionless, but he soon turned to look at the small black dot in the sky, Clear Jade Dripping Wind Tiny Bamboo Building. Back then, you saved my life. Today, I will save your life. From now on, the favor has been repaid completely. Feng Zhuge continued. Fong Yuan raised an eyebrow. That is not right. If not for my help, Wu Yong would have already killed you. You helped me and I helped you. You still owe me a favor. But Feng Zhuge continued in a light tone. If I say I owe you nothing, that means my heart is at ease. I have no obligations remaining. What you think is your business. Remember, if I survive this time, I will pursue you as my target. Even if you escape to the ends of the world, I will not let you escape. Be careful. Ha ha. Fong Yuan could not help but laugh. He understood Feng Zhuge's intention. Feng Zhuge saved him to repay that favor, but this way it would go against his righteous path status. His wife and daughter would be in an awkward position. Thus, after Feng Zhuge saves Fong Yuan, he would need to pursue him and kill him to prove his own allegiance and to protect his wife and daughter. "All right, the next time we meet, we will be enemies," Fong Yuan said, opening his immortal aperture's entrance, letting He Lu Lan and the others out. Ancient battle formation omnidirectional travel started to activate. Feng Zhuge did not respond. He did not even turn to look at Fong Yuan. He directly flew towards Wu Yong. If Fong Yuan used omnidirectional travel to escape, Wu Yong might chase after all. Thus, to repay this debt, Feng Zhuge had to take a risk and personally obstruct Clear Jade Dripping Wind Tiny Bamboo Building. Looking deeply at Feng Zhuge for the last time, the ancient battle formation activated and Fong Yuan, along with the other immortals, vanished on the spot. Wu Yong, who had been watching Fong Yuan and Feng Zhuge, smiled bitterly as he saw him leaving. He slightly regretted his arrangement earlier. If he did not come alone, he would be able to take down both Fong Yuan and Feng Zhuge. But for the reputation of Wu Clan, he had been planning hard to divert the rest of Southern Border's righteous path forces away. He had spread a net so that Fong Yuan would come right at him. This was not far from Western Desert. Fong Yuan's escape was almost certain at this point. I was careless. I did not think that Heavenly Court would help the demon Fong Yuan. Wu Yong watched as Feng Zhuge flew towards him, showing a cold and icy gaze. This was the guy who ruined his plans. He deserved death. But the opponent had immense talent and status. Wu Yong was a little hesitant. There was greater value in capturing Feng Zhuge alive than killing him. If he killed Feng Zhuge, Wu Yong would be enemies with Heavenly Court and Central Continent, and Heavenly Court currently held the secret that Wu Yihai was Fong Yuan. If he captured him, Wu Yong would be able to negotiate with Central Continent using this bargaining chip. In fact, Wu Yong had been thinking about this earlier. If he wanted to kill Feng Zhuge, he would not have attacked like that. Wu Yong was not a hired killer. He was the leader of a super force. He needed to think of many things, not just this battle alone, but also the consequences that would follow. Immortal Killer, Move Separation Song. Feng Zhuge was still a distance away from Clear Jade Dripping Wind. Tiny Bamboo Building, he used this special move again. Wu Yong snorted. He had already added many goo worms into this immortal goo house. Even though the goo worms were still being separated, it was far weaker now. The intense battle continued. Wu Yong quickly gained the upper hand, even though he was still injured. Clear Jade, Dripping Wind. Tiny Bamboo Building was too domineering. Feng Zhuge could only fight from a distance and use Separation Song against it. Wu Yong was an experienced schemer. After retreating once, he had no problems with retreating again. As long as the immortal goo house was broken apart to an extent, he would retreat and repair it. Feng Zhuge's Separation Song did not have any offensive power. The goo worms that were removed were quickly regained by Wu Yong, and he placed them back in again. The only problem for Wu Yong was that immortal goo houses were not easy to assemble. But this battle was already set. Feng Zhuge could not win. If they clashed without either side falling back, Feng Zhuge might have some hope of victory. But Wu Yong was not a brute nor a fool. After fighting for some time, he abandoned the pride of a rank 8. In return, he could easily retreat and hold the initiative in his hands. Even the genius Feng Zhuge could only be suppressed. He had no chance of victory. At the same time, in Central Continent's Heavenly Court, Fairy Ziwei held on to Star Constellation chessboard as she looked at the battle situation of Feng Zhuge fighting Wu Yong. "It is about time," Fairy Ziwei muttered. It turned out that Feng Zhuge's encounter with Fong Yuan was planned by Star Constellation Heaven's Will. With the help of Heavenly Court, Feng Zhuge managed to meet Fong Yuan coincidentally while chasing the theft path Immortal Gumper. Even Feng Zhuge was kept in the dark. In fact, even Heavenly Court was confused, not knowing why Star Constellation Heaven's Will planned this. Feng Zhuge's aura was weakening. He was covered in injuries. He could only use one more attack. In contrast, Wu Yong was inside Clear Jade Dripping Wind Tiny Bamboo Building. He was in good condition. The immortal goo house had only lost some of its outer layer. Fighting before retreating, before fighting once again. Humans were the most intelligent of all living beings. Wu Yong's proper strategy made Feng Zhuge unable to make a comeback. Feng Zhuge, if you surrender, I can keep you alive and send you back to Central Continent for Heavenly Court's judgment, Wu Yong said plainly. Feng Zhuge smiled. Oh, Wu Yong, if you can take my next move, I will surrender to you. Why not? Wu Yong's expression froze slightly. Even at this point, Feng Zhuge still had a trump card unused. Back in the day, the reason why I became famous, after receiving the acknowledgement of a rank 8 Gu immortal who accepted that I had rank 8 battle strength, was because of this move. Listen to it, my 7th song. Wait, Feng Zhuge. At this moment, 2 figures appeared in the battlefield. They both had rank 8 aura. They were Gu immortals from Central Continent's 10 great ancient sects. Wu Yong was surprised. Heavenly Court actually still had such hidden cards. This was out of his expectations. In his opinion, if they had such strength remaining, why did they not use it earlier? Was it because they could not make it in time, Wu Yong guessed? While thinking, Wu Yong sneered. Central Continent's people, you came just in time. I have something to tell you. Not only did you snatch the immortal Gu of our southern border's righteous path, your members are even defending demons. Wu Yong had no fear. He was defended by the immortal Gu house and other southern border righteous path. Gu immortals were coming to reinforce him. But these 2 Central Continent Gu immortals came prepared. One of them said, even though we are in 2 different regions, we are all righteous path members. We need to work together. We took the immortal Gu away earlier because we were afraid the demon would destroy them. We are already prepared to return these immortal Gu back to their original owners. Oh? Wu Yong was surprised. The other said, as for defending the demon, we will deal with that. Feng Zhuge, are you willing to swear upon Heavenly Court's orders to pursue Fong Yuan forever, and to not rest until you take his life? Feng Zhuge thought for a moment before replying, I am willing.